Congratulations.
Does she get a badge for sewing all the badges?
Sewing right badge.
Amazon.
It's a lot of badges. Wait a minute, shouldn't he be sewing them on and getting a sewing badge? There's got to be.
It actually isn't a sewing badge.
There isn't? They could call it something cool like,
I hot glued my
wardrobe repair or something. All right.
That's great.
All right. Settle. We're going to call to order the meeting. This is going to be a special voting meeting for Monday, February 11th, 2019, 7:30 p.m. And we'll start with our Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we could have roll call vote, or a roll call, Mr. Scott?
Yes, Mr. President. Ms. Albright. Are you here?
Here.
Okay. Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Durso. Here. Mr. Strobel.
Here.
Mr. B. Scott. Yes. Mr. Wolf. Mr. Rathgum.
Present.
Oh, that'd be different. Ms. Holzson.
Here.
And Mr. J. Scott.
Here.
Okay.
All right. And we're going to start off with a little recognition.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Scott. This evening, we have with us Daniel Boone area senior high student Matthew Pyle. And Matthew's the son of Ann and Norris Pyle of 600 Farmingdale Drive in Douglasville, Pennsylvania. He has served the troop in the positions of lead no trace trainer, patrol leader, assistant senior patrol leader, and senior patrol leader. Matthew has earned his Eagle Scout. His project was to renovate a section of St. Columbkille's Parish in Boyertown, Pennsylvania,
Nice.
where new ceiling tiles were installed, a wall was torn down, and the remaining walls and door frames were painted. Matthew's Eagle Court of Honor will be held this Sunday, February 17th, 2019, at 1 p.m. at St. Paul's UCC at 1312 Old Sweet Road in Douglasville, PA. So this evening, on behalf of the Board of School Directors and the Daniel Boone Area School District, we have a certificate that we would like to present to you, Matthew, for earning the rank of Eagle Scout. And this certificate is presented this evening, February 11th, 2019. So if you could come forward here and I'll walk around and present this to you.
I wish we could have had a bigger crowd here for you, Matthew.
You can come to the next one.
Yeah, right.
Or not.
Yeah.
I'm not the guitar professional
Yeah, please, it's fair to, yeah.
You get out when you can.
Call later about tomorrow.
Hello, Laser Learning Community.
You'll get that call in a few.
Keep your phone handy.
From the board.
All right, so that, if I'm not mistaken, that was our noted agenda edit. However, do we have any other agenda edits as presented by the board?
Well, a question, I thought there was something on about the Skyward purchase. What was it?
Yeah, and so that was going to be on the Cal agenda,
Okay.
not special voting, correct? So what we're going to do is just push that agenda to the voting meeting, and we'll have our discussion and vote in the same night.
There were a couple other items that came out of extracurricular that could be. in the same-
Yeah, well, they will be on there. I asked Mrs. McNeely to put them on,
Okay. Great.
so we should be in good shape.
Mr. President, do we want to break out item D?
Well, I was just going to say, can we make a motion for all of them and then discuss it? or do you want it left out?
Well,
I think it's
it
easier.
really doesn't matter. We
All
can
right,
call
I'll
each
make a
out
motion
individually.
for 7A through C.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, so we have a motion for 7A through C and a second. Mr. Durso and Mr. Rathgeb. All right, so any board discussion? So the folks who weren't able to attend the budget session last week, any questions, concerns about what was presented here? Did you want to, were you prepared to, Mr. Wolf had asked to.
Yes, Mr. Scott. As we discussed in the previous budget meeting, we were trying to decide if we would be doing this preliminary budget to go up to the index or to allow ourselves that possibility of raising it higher. And we decided, as we've done in previous years, the recommendation to the board would be to leave us the extra room to possibly raise the tax so much higher. As we've discussed, there was a lot of discussion about the fact that even though we've always, not always, but in the last at least 6 years, have always given ourselves the option of increasing the taxes more, we've never gone up to that limit. But again, we were going to recommend to give ourselves the flexibility to go to a higher limit.
Just to be clear, that's to include the exceptions of special education and other exceptions that we would be entitled to.
Correct.
Right. Any concerns? Again, this is not a final budget. This gives us flexibility if we choose to pursue it. Any concerns?
And at the budget meeting, there were no surprises. The numbers were just further refined from what we'd seen before.
Yeah, I guess the one big factor that's not included is, of course, the contract.
Correct.
The teacher's contract, so.
Was there discussion about what the possibility of the tax increase would be?
Yeah, it was roughly right around 1.9 mils, with about half being a full, that's the max. I think it was like 0.92, right? Oh, you have it in front of you, right?
We're going to vote on it.
It's in the attachment.
Mr. Sherwood, are you asking?
What percentage, I just wanted to know what, because last year, what did we do, 0.7?
Well, so last year we did the same process. We this time of year, we voted to give ourselves the flexibility of the maximum increase, right? And then come June, we voted for less than what the maximum was. So again, we're doing the same thing. We're voting to say, hey, we can go up to the maximum we can take. Come June, then we decide actually what we're going to do.
But the noted difference, though, is the exceptions are much higher than they would have been last year.
Yeah, I don't know that we really did include them last year. I thought
Because they were minimal.
Because, right. But there's like 600,000 for special
When-
education.
Ms. Haynes, when will we actually hear?
We should do the vote today. It should take them a couple of weeks. We should know by the next, I'm hoping by the finance committee.
We'll know what the possible exceptions are.
As soon as we do this tomorrow, I'll be submitting.
All right. Any other questions about items A, B, or C? All right. Mr. Scott, if we could have a roll call vote, please. Roll call vote. Items A, B, and C. 7A, B, and C.
So items 7A through C. Ms. Albright?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Durso?
Yes.
Mr. Strobel?
Yes.
Mr. B. Scott, yes. Mr. Wolf? Mr. Rathgeb?
Yes.
Miss Olafson?
Yes.
And Mr. J. Scott.
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion for 7D.
All right, we have a motion for 7D by Mr. Durso. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rathgeb. All right, board discussion.
Mr. Schmidt?
I was able to read the follow-up email from Mr. Cooper. Ms. Olson pulled it up for me, explaining some details, but I guess it's better to have George explain it than me, so go ahead, George.
Yeah, I'd like to know the magic date of February the 12th. Seems a little odd. I mean, I love going to get a discount, but February 12th seems a lot for a discount. Normally end a month and a quarter.
Mr. Schmidt's here. Yeah.
Okay, so the question is about the football jerseys. Right now, we have a special deal with Rydell. It's a high-performance light jersey and pants. It's pretty much, you get one set for 80 uniforms to each set. The second one is free. So, I mean, I wouldn't say free, but if the numbers are, one set would cost $13,200. After the deal's over, it would be $26,400. But if we can sign on the dotted line now, and then they'll give us the bill in July, similar to what we're doing with the band uniforms. The one set's going to cost $13,800. The two sets will cost $13,840. So we will be receiving, 160 jerseys and 160 pants, the same price, almost the same price as one set without the deal.
So I guess,
I originally budgeted $15,000. That was what the original budget was for. So we'll be coming in underneath that and getting a second whole set for pretty much free.
so the second set would not be put into use.
Yes, it would be. They would both be home uniforms. One's a different color. I can show you the uniforms if you'd like to look at them. One is the one is I can pass this around too. But one is the Carolina blue. We're trying to get back to our original colors.
Why would we not get a home and an away set?
Well, our away uniforms are in very good shape right now. So those are the white uniforms. They generally give the seniors those jerseys at the end of the year, and then they buy them back. So they're kind of always replaced. So the away jerseys are still in very good shape. The current home jerseys are around 7 years old, and they need to be replaced. So by getting the two home different jerseys, and this would be sort of a charcoal color. We would be able to, on occasion, wear this one as well as the blue one, so we would get even more life out of them. The newer jerseys, new uniforms should last around 8 years, especially that we're playing mostly on turf now versus grass. So the replacement time will probably be somewhere around 8 years for the new ones that we're purchasing.
But we wouldn't typically buy two sets of home jerseys, correct?
Correct.
So I mean, if we buy two for the price of one and wear them both, then we're not really saving anything. Right? Because when those wear out, we're going to have to go buy another set. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to, in other words, if we're going to have two sets of home jerseys, then they would last even longer than 7 or 8 years, right?
Correct. Yes. I mean, we would probably stretch it to 10 years.
So, I mean, is this a dumb question or not, but wouldn't it make sense to just put one set of jerseys on the shelf and wear the home jerseys till they wear out and then replace them with
This set covers both JV and varsity, right?
Yes. Yes.
Can you clarify we give the shirts to the seniors and buy them back?
The football club purchases and replaces them every year, depending on how many seniors there are.
the other issue I have with the buying two, what it always seems to be is, 7 years down the road or 6 years down the road, we get our uniforms aren't in style anymore. They're still great, but, the styles is not, the newer ones look better and blah, blah, blah. And so we buy two sets, and the last 15 years, we're probably not going to use them that long because they're old looking and they want the new look. Does that not make seems to be,
That's a good point.
And I have a question. Do they have the ability to buy 40 and give us a deal on 80? And then when we get what we want, we spend a whole lot less money. Is that an option?
Well, we currently had 50 players last year in the roster, and Coach Flowers informed me that right now it's building, and he's going to have at least 10 to 12 more, so we're going to have in the 60s. And the issue is you have, different sizes and different numbers, so you can't just go with a 50. You have
The
to
reason
go
I
with...
said 40 is that we end up with 80. Like, in other words, it's the same deal. You get double, but we end up getting what we need versus another 8, another 7.
Mr. Strobel, I think one of the things he's saying is if we don't order that number, whatever it is, that we will end up with, if we're trying to use them at the same time, we'd have one set that's duplicate numbers. So we have like 2 number 2s
I got you.
and 2 48s.
Just a question.
I prefer, if we're going to buy 2 sets, to buy it, like you said, the away is still in good shape.
Yes.
Buy an away set, that way we got that ready to go, and how many more years on the away set, the away ones, current ones will last? How old are those, the away ones right now?
I think they're 5 years old.
2 years from now.
So
But again, they get, the jerseys get replaced, depending on how many seniors we have.
Would they be,
15 this year.
if we be buying one set of 80 and then another set of 8 for free, would they be willing to do them in like one set in Carolina blue and one in white?
Absolutely.
I actually think that Mr. Adkins, I understand that you're saying that we don't use they're not as old and they're still looking good, but you could not run into the same problem of pulling something off the shelf in 5 years and having everybody say, oh, these don't look as nice as what other schools are using because they've replaced them recently. We would actually get some wear out of them if we're going to get them for free anyway.
Well, the away jerseys sounds like they got 2 or 3 years max. We're going to be asked for another $13,000 to replace them.
But then we wouldn't have to.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would prefer to buy a home and an away, and then when the aways are no good, we're all set.
I think I agree. It sounds like the church is being replaced by seniors, so it may not be 2 years, it might be 3 or 4 years. But you have a style issue too. You're right, keeping the same style.
And how many seniors you have? You could have 2 1 year and 4.
Well, and the older they get, you're not going to be able to replace them with the same jersey.
Point 2 is team want to expand.
The only
We're going to get 80, right?
The important thing was that it wasn't clear to me before we sat here that the football jerseys were listed on his Mr. Schmidt's budget for the 1920 year, and this is just the promissory documentation servicing that.
Right.
And if he's actually able to get it for us cheaper than what he had budgeted. And it was something that was supposed to be done next year. I don't know if you remember when we did these, a similar promissory document for the marching band uniforms, they also required us to sign on the dotted line and promise we were going to pay at the start of the school fiscal year by the 30th of January. So even though, the February 12th is a weird date, this time of year does feel like the right time for companies to want to know what they're doing.
Well, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I just, the incentive.
I agree that, but if they're not asking for any money right now and they're just asking us to promise that we'll pay at the beginning of the school fiscal year, I do think that kind of makes sense, and it's what I've seen from other people
I agree, but Mr. Rathke had a valid concern too, and it's a
Totally
sure that
agree.
we could have been able to talk about this a couple weeks ago.
Agreed.
Mr. Askamp, do you want to amend the motion, want me to amend the motion to specify what you're asking for? So it's actually.
Are you okay with that, Mr. Schmidt, getting it away at Homestead?
Well, the purpose of the two home, in Coach's mind, is that, you know, they're gonna wear the blue most of the time, and on special occasions, they would wear the charcoal. So,
We're not the Philadelphia Eagles, we don't have the black, the midnight green, the Kelly green, you know, but that's great, but sorry, I don't want to say it.
I guess my question there would be, you know, next sport, we buy uniforms for track, I'm just throwing it out. Are we gonna get a second color now for senior night as their big night? So,
No.
I mean, that's what I mean, like, we're gonna start a precedent, so then it's the basketball team gonna want that second home jersey, it's the field hockey team gonna want that second home jersey. I get it, it's nice, and, but I see Mr. Rathgap's point where if we can get home and away, we're kind of somewhat ahead of the game.
okay.
And make sure you lock away those away ones for a year, make sure they're lock and key, they don't get pulled out early.
So you're okay with, at the end of the year, if we have 15 seniors, we're gonna give them those brand new jerseys?
Well, what do we, but, no,
They have to buy them back.
but what do we do now? If they're taking the jerseys, then how do we replace them?
The football club purchased them for the
Right.
seniors.
What I'm saying is, why would that be a problem this year and not every other year?
It won't be.
I mean, whether they're a year old or 2 years from now, we're still gonna replace them, they're still gonna buy them, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll be buying the old ones
I
anyway.
don't think we're saying that seniors can't do that. As long as we can feel good, as long as we can replace them, we should continue doing that.
We're not replacing the football gloves.
No, but I'm saying, they should get, as long as we can get replacements, then, like, I think the risk of buying 2 sets and holding off a set for a long time is that you're not gonna get replacements for them. And it sounds like the away, you guys, they get to buy the home jerseys or the aways?
Away, the white ones.
Alright, so then they're already 5 years old. But you are getting, can you guys? Are you guys, replacing the away jerseys with a new jersey?
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, okay, so I mean, am I misunderstanding your concern? Like, we're still gonna be able to do that, correct?
Right.
Technically, it could be happening this year.
I'm perfectly fine with that. If that's what you
1 year
guys-
old.
Alright. I mean, I hope you can understand our position on this. No?
Yes.
Alright.
Absolutely.
So yes, we can amend the motion to.
All right, I'll amend my motion for 7D, a motion to make the commitment to purchase football uniforms for the Dane Boone Area High School football team for the 2019-2000 school year, home and away jerseys at the price of $13,840.
Second it. But we already said I was just kind of amending it, so.
Alright, is everybody comfortable with that?
Roll call, Mr.
Sure.
Mr. Durso,
Yes.
Mr. Strobel,
Yes.
Mr. B. Scott,
It's you.
it's me.
That's you, Coach.
Mr. Rathgap? Yes. That's not good. Ms. Olafson?
Yes.
Ms. Albright?
Yes.
Mr. J. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. B. Scott, you can skip me.
I did. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Thank you.
Alright. Any presentations by the public on any issues? Motion to adjourn?
Second.